gosh. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, and I have my friend here.
Hi there, I'm Allison.
Alright, and I'm going to be doing her makeup today. It's kind of what I've been doing, going through my makeup collection and everything. I don't think I have anything new though. Yeah, I do. The eyeshadow palettes. And I'll be doing it on her instead of me today. Alright, let's get started.
Alright.
So, I guess I am not organized today. I'm sorry.
Sorry guys, she's not organized today.
I'm usually there. It is.
There we go.
It's always right in front of me. Everything. So first, I'm gonna do her eyeshadow primer, which is the L'Oreal Infallible Concealer in the shade Ivory. I feel like this would be a better match on her than me. Oh, God, really messed my job up. It's still a little light on you. I mean, it's a better match on her than me, though. Just telling you that right now. It is. I guess. Come closer. Second, because I like resting my hand on my face like this.
That's fine.
When I do this part, because like can. This is like a 24-hour thing, so it's supposed to be like a fast setting or fast drying. I gotta really. And it's a little in your brows, just because I put it up against my brow bone,
Okay.
and you have like thin brown brow, so it's like. And I am using a damp sponge. This is still kind of big. It's big just because it's damp. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it is clean. I do clean my brushes a lot. Should have got all the excess off. Okay, now we're gonna do the other eye. I'm gonna do. It's a lot easier for them to see what I'm doing when I do it on other people compared to when I do it on me, because it's like that thing of
Trying to.
I have a mirror,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to like angle the mirror to where they can see me.
Right.
So I'm gonna rest it kind of on your chin, because this has a long enough handle that I can. And I'm like sort of buffing it compared to what I usually do. I got makeup wipes for this. I usually just like kind of blend it, but here I'm kind of buffing it. For two reasons. One, she's not used to wearing makeup, so this just helps it to be thinner on her so she's not wearing too much makeup that her face is trying to get used to. B, it helps it blend a lot faster so I'm not sitting there blending for so long, and I can go straight in with the sponge to get any excess. There we go. And the sponge is going to be dirty by the time we're done, so I got a lot of stuff to do. Trying to think. There it is. My little powder puff. So now I'm going into the Physicians Formula 3-in-1 setting powder. I'm just going to use the set side, which is the translucent powder, to set her eyes, and I'm going to apply that with a powder puff because I don't have my setting brush at the moment because it's in my wedding makeup kit. Why are they always so hard to open? Like, I could put them down lightly, and they're so hard to open. And it's hard because, like, they always mix together, so it's like you try to use one and you're using all of them. And this will just help set it, but it's not gonna look too cakey. Can you turn your face? I gotta like do this a certain way. And it is gonna fall on her face. That's a given with a powder puff. And I'm trying to do it lightly because I don't want to hurt you. Tell her I don't mind. That thing of it doesn't hurt them as much as it does to a girl. It's weird. Because everything for my wedding makeup kit is already put up. So it's like I gotta use what I have. So now I'm gonna go on to the liquid side of the powder puff and kind of try to brush off as much of the excess powder as I can. Okay. And then whatever powder I have left, maybe. Dang! See what I mean? That's left in the cap, I'm gonna put back for later. So I'm probably just gonna use this that part. Because you have dry skin, don't you? Like, maybe. It feels kind of oily, but what I mean by that is like, what is your skin type on your face?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not for sure, guys. I'm not really good with all that. She's amazing at it, though.
Yeah. They know that. So, like, for example, everybody knows here, except you, that I have combination skin. So it means that my T-zone, like right in this area and here and down, gets extremely oily. And then the perimeter of my face is extremely dry. I'm going to say you either have combo or combo dry, which means that you still tend to get oily,
Yeah.
but it's more dry. So, people keep saying I should become a makeup artist because of all this that I know, and I'm like, no, I shouldn't. I thought I grabbed more eyeshadow brushes than that. I guess I didn't. Okay. It's fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going into the Too Faced Kitty Likes to Scratch palette. It used to smell like tequila, and now I don't. No. It did. I swear. It smelled like tequila. I don't know what I'm showing you. I'm going into this shade here to put in her crease to kind of start with a fluffy crease brush. The fluffy crease brush I usually use to start out with is, again, in my makeup kit. Which I gotta get a hold of my cousin. I can't hold. Which I gotta get a hold of my cousin to see when we can do that trial. Where she kind of like, it's not a trial. It's pretty much I show her how I want my makeup and she does what I want.
Right.
Because that's how this wedding planning's going. People give me suggestions, but it's like, you do what you want, but I'll give you a suggestion. Like, we're no longer having two DJs for our wedding. Because, one of, my uncles said DJs. Okay, so I'm gonna put this yellow shade that's kind of non-existent now on her lid, and I'm gonna use a flat top brush like this that's kind of fluffy to stamp the shade on. I like fluffy brushes like this because it's a lot easier to stamp on. Just a second. This is just to help make sure everything stays in place. This is just like an extra setting step that I like to do because it just makes sure they're light enough to where it's not gonna show, but they still kind of show when you like blend the makeup and everything. This is just an extra setting step that I like to do. Okay. So now we can actually get to the eyeshadow part. This LA Colors palette I'm probably not going to use anymore. I just wanted it for that one shade. So now we're going back into the Kitty Likes to Scratch palette. I'm trying to see. There's not much to choose from in this palette, so that's kind of hard. They're all pretty much shimmery. I'm going to take this brown shade here, and we're going to kind of use this as a transition shade and kind of help deepen up her crease a little bit. I'm not going to do too much with this shade, just because like I said, she's not used to wearing makeup, so I'm not going to do too much on her. Like, I'm still going to do what I normally do on myself, but I'm doing it a lot lighter than I would with myself, just because I'm used to wearing makeup and she is not. So now taking that same crease brush, because again I don't have many brushes to choose from at the moment, I'm going into the I guess brown, shimmery brown shade. I'm gonna say it's a shimmery version of that brown. No, I guess not, because it's kind of darker. But this will add some sparkle to the eyes. What I'm doing is I'm not even like putting pressure or anything. Just lightly brushing it on. Like out of the light, so it's kind of hard to tell if it's showing up or not. But I'm gonna say it is, just because I've seen a couple specs. So like I said, I'm just like lightly brushing it on. Not even putting pressure. I don't even know if I got any product on because how light I was doing it. So now I'm gonna take that flat top brush and we're going to go into this pink shade here. Which this palette would be nice for a bridal look, but it's fine. The reason I'm doing that makeup look is because not only does it have enough shades for a bridal look, it has all that powder blush and stuff that helps me with everything, so I'm not having to buy extra stuff. It's there. Kind of there for a minute, looked like it wasn't showing up, but it is. It's just hard to see because it's a lighter shade. Alright, so that is done. So now, I thought it'd be a lot easier to use the e.l.f. eyeliner pen. You're gonna hate me for this, because this is waterproof. This is what I originally was gonna use for my wedding. But then I seen gel liner is a lot, it lasts a lot longer. Like, this will still smudge. I'm not gonna do a wing on her, or try not to do a wing on her. gonna keep doing it. You doing that? It's kind of messing it up, but I can fix it. Yeah, I didn't do a wing. Okay. Like, I thought I did. I didn't. I gotta do it every time now because it's like kind of running out. So I'm pretty much just stamping it on, and then I connect the dot or the lines. Your eyeliner's not much just because your eyes like to
Twitch.
yeah. Mine do the same thing, so I'm trying to make sure I don't hurt you too.
You're not hurting me. You're fine.
Yeah, they don't match, but it's okay. Her eyes are like mine and like to twitch, so it's like a lot harder. Yeah, it's a lot harder. Um, so at this point, I think that phone's going off. Here it is. Tyler probably just texted me. It's okay. At this point, I'm taking a makeup wipe and wipe underneath the eyes, her eyes. Just get any fallout under, so you don't need to close your eyes for this. Get any fallout that it might have fell underneath. Get that. Even though I try to knock off as much fallout as I can, it still always ends up under the eyes. And I find out those makeup wipes don't dry as fast as I thought they did, so. Alright, now primers. So, I'm sorry for this because this is like a really thick primer. These both are. I'm going into the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. So, what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to put it on my finger like that. And I'll rub my fingers together. Might need more than that. Like this. To kind of get it like less thick. And I'm going to put it where she needs it. Which is pretty much everywhere. Just because she has fine lines and everything. And I'm not drinking when I say this, but yeah. Like right in here, there's a lot of fine lines and wrinkles. It just means you're showing your age. And it's okay because 19-year-olds get it too. Because there's been times I've had fine lines under my eyes. For someone who doesn't wear makeup, um, your face is really not reacting to it. Because usually, I have noticed this sometimes when I do people's makeup. If like they tell me, oh, I don't wear makeup a lot, or I never wear makeup, when I put makeup on them, their skin turns red and irritated really fast. So I'm really surprised actually that yours isn't doing this. And with her having fine lines under her eyes and towards the inner corners, I'm just gonna have to watch doing her concealer because sometimes concealers can settle into fine lines and everything. So what I'm actually going to do, instead of using the L'Oreal, like what I normally would for me, I'm probably going to use the Maybelline one, just because that's what it's supposed to be for. Now I'm going into the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glution and the shade Fair Glow. I'm going to, maybe, I'm going to put it on the back of my hand and use the brush instead of going straight in on the face like I do with me. I'm doing minor tweaks. Maybe. Holy crap. I didn't realize how low this was. But I'm doing minor tweaks that I wouldn't normally do for myself. just to help it be thinner on her face. And I'm using my Draw Techniques soft accent brush. Done with all the texture and stuff she has on her face. This is not really something she's going to want to wear all the time. You can wear this product every once in a while. Um, but not all the time like what I do. See, now it squirts out better. Now that I've kind of shaken it better. So, I'm going to just lightly dab it in. Like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing with all this texture and stuff she has on her skin. Because a lot of people have it. A lot more people have it than people realize. Like, I know one of my friends who's younger than me who's had texture like this on her face. Like, because she wears makeup all the time and goes to sleep with her makeup on. Because there's, which I can understand if you're like younger and, or older women do it too. If like you're younger and all that, and like, you know, you got work or school or whatever, so you're like tired.
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer this text really quick before he blows up my phone because he does this all the time. Ah, I was right. It was Tyler. Um, so I don't know if I want to do underpainting with you, which would just mean I do all the cream underneath the foundation and put foundation on top. Honestly, I'll do that just because it helps me use less foundation. With, again, her not wearing makeup, it'd be a lot easier. So now I'm going into the Rimmel London Stay Matte Concealer in the shade Espresso, which is what I use as contour at the moment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and dot it on the back of my hand so there's not as much product. And we're going to go above the ear, like that. And I'm going to try to blend. And I'm going to use the Damp Beauty Sponge, which is the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge, to blend it in. Can you turn your head? Thank you. And the nice thing about underpainting is, I've explained this a lot of times, it still shows through, but where I'm using a darker foundation, it doesn't show through as much. So it doesn't look like you have like brown lines like this on your face and stuff like that. So then I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. This is just to keep the product minimal. And I'm going, can you turn your head? About like right here instead of in that hollow. So about there, and then just kind of going around like that. So it doesn't go straight down that hollow where the bottom of your hair, like what I do. That's only because, you know, I can't with the moles on my face. But, and I'm only going to do the cheeks on her. I'm not going to do, like, everything that I do. Again, just keep it thin and natural for her. This is blending out better than it usually does, so. Think a Damp Beauty Sponge is your best friend on everything because it just helps it blend in more. Alright, I did that so I didn't cross anything. So now we're going into the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand. So most of you have noticed this, but this is like a theme for me. is like all drugstore products. I don't like high end products. It's just the price, but most high end that like my cousin has had, it's like not the best. And I'm gonna use a Real Techniques Expert Foundation brush to stamp that in. So I'm gonna take about that much, and I'm just going to stamp it in, and I'm going around the brows. I will be using my sponge to blend it out too, because this is like a really bright shade. I used a little bit too much as it is. So now we're using the damp sponge, picking up as much excess blush as we can. There you go. That looks a lot better. So now we're just going to pick up a little bit more. And this trick just helps it um, blend into your skin better. And because we don't have a lot on her face as it is, it blends in better anyways. But the stamping part just helps. And then, and just like how you would with a beauty blender, you would pretty much stamp it on. Same technique with the brush. Alright. So again, I'm just trying not to cross anything. Alright. So now we're going into the Oma Beauty Flawless IRL Skin Perfecting Foundation in the shade Fair Lady T6. I'm just going to do about 2 pumps of this foundation. Start out with, I'm using an e.l.f. Complexion Duo brush. I'm going to start in the center of her face and stamp it on. See, it's kind of like covering it up, but it does show through. And then I'm going to take the other end and I'm going to stamp it on to the side of her nose, meeting up towards the brow, because we're going to fill in all that area anyways. So we're going to take a little bit more. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. And again, like I always do, I'm going to need a little bit more. I'm going to be taking a sponge and taking some of this coverage off. Just because this is a little too much, even for my likings. I don't know about her. Because, like, again, I'm just keeping it thin for her. But I'm also doing it the way I do it. So, there's areas that I do make it thicker. That's, like, a problem for me. Because it's, like, not what I like. It just turns out that way. Kind of, like, look down. So I can see what I'm doing on the bridge of your nose. Alright, you can move it back up to where. There you go. So a complexion duo brush actually is a pretty good investment. This actually goes with the CC cream that e.l.f. makes, but it's a pretty good. I always use like 6 or 8 pumps of this thing just to get my face done, because I also got to do your neck to make it all match. But anyways, because this just stamps it on, but since the e.l.f. CC cream does sit on your skin, sometimes this can make it sit on your skin and it won't actually settle, which actually sometimes is a good thing. Now for cream highlighter, I was going to use it, but I don't think I am. Just because I don't want too much. Can you lift your head up? I don't want too much glow on her skin because this is a dewy foundation as it is. See what I mean? Like, I always use a lot of foundation, just even like when I'm not trying to make it thick, I still use a lot of foundation just to make it all even and match. So, anyways, what was it? I was because this is a dewy foundation as it is, and again, I keep saying that she's not used to wearing makeup, so this is what I'm doing as it is going to be too much for her. But then again, you never know because her skin's not reacting to it. At least I hope it's not.
I don't feel like it is.
Okay. I was gonna say because usually it'll burn by now.
And it's not.
Okay.
So that's always a good sign.
Yay. And also, this is stuff that helps me out and helps my skin out, so it might be that way with you too. It just helps you. So now we're going to use the bottom of the sponge because this is all covered in contour and all that. And we're just going to blend that in better. This way. And we're going to blend it towards her ear on the back of her neck and into her hairline. I guess I gotta use the point. Kind of help blend it into your hairline. So this just helps make sure everything's blended up. Everything's blended and everything's even because you don't want too much coverage in one area and not enough in another. So now concealer, like I said, I'm going to use the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser in the shade 110, I think. I don't remember. So this has a sponge applicator, so it helps because then you can just like dab it in. You're still gonna have to blend it in. Wait, I hope you can't feel that plastic part that's on the end of the applicator. But you still gotta blend it in, especially because this applicator is a little big for the inner corner. So now we're gonna go back into the sponge. The sponge is like really being used now. I'm gonna squeeze it like this and get into that inner corner and underneath of the eyes.
Do I need to look at you?
And it's kind of settling just a little bit into those fine lines under her eyes. But that's to be expected with any concealer. Like any concealer is going to settle into fine lines a little bit. But you gotta watch out with the ones that settle a lot. Alright, so we're going to let that sit for a minute. It shouldn't take too long to dry because it's not thick. And then I'm going to use the translucent side of this powder. And then we just got bronzer and blush and setting spray to do. Wow, that didn't take as long as it usually does with me. But then again, I got so much to blend. So, make sure it doesn't transfer. And this foundation, I have noticed sometimes does dry down pretty fast. I don't think it's supposed to be like one of those matte foundations that are supposed to dry are like those ones that are supposed to stay put. And that fan's gonna drive me crazy now. But I'm taking this big powder brush. Can you lift your head up? And I'm just lightly setting it. So again, it doesn't get too cakey. That's weird. It's starting to get patchy, like, right in this area. That's so weird, because it never has. Well, it has on me, and just I've never noticed it. That's so weird. Nope, there it goes. Kind of got it fixed. I think it's just I had too much powder there. Or again, stamping the powder and just to make sure everything's set and nothing's wet. I guess that's the way you would put it. Dang it! I think my fingers are just too big. Start getting Camel or Shaggy to open it for me. I need your sheets now. So I'm just lightly setting everything. And then also, because we don't know what skin type she is, that's the other reason I'm lightly setting it. Lightly setting it does help a lot, but usually I would bake too, or I'd use the baking powder that came in this. But because I don't know what skin type she is, I won't do that. And I'm going to squeeze this brush just a little bit, just to get in that crevice right there. Then kind of just be able to set her upper lip without it being too big. Alright. So now I'm... Whew! That was a lot of powder and I was like just went up my nose. So now I'm going to use the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer. So where I put the contour on her face and up on her forehead, I'm going to use a little bit of this with the bronzing brush, an angled bronzing brush like this. Just actually a contour brush, but I use it for bronzing. I don't want to go too close to the blush, but just kind of bronze up her face and warm up her face a little bit more, even though she has that foundation that kind of warms up her skin as it is. Hey, at least it matches her a little bit better than it does me. And then lightly do it here, just because this is a big brush and her face is a little small. Not a bad thing, by the way. Like, anything I'm saying here is not a bad thing in any way. So, brushes are there. Now I'm going into the e.l.f. Primer Infused Matte Blush and Always Cheeky, which is kind of like a peachy nude blush that can go over any color of blush. Fine, I need you. So again, stamping it on lightly. I'm gonna need a little bit more for this. And I think Tyler just texted me again, so I gotta like hurry up with this. Just like, and I like these kind of like angled brushes that are kind of like kabuki brushes. They're so much easier to stamp with. So you're gonna have to like close your eyes and your mouth So now we're going into the elf stay all night. With that fan, it's going to go everywhere, so I might as well just close my mouth too. I'm just making sure I get it everywhere. Alright. So I do not have the lid to this. I don't know where it went. Alright, so that is the end of the tutorial. This is the finished product. I don't think it looks too bad. It looks a lot better than what I do on myself right now. I don't know what happened. But I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up, guys.
Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.